Hi, everyone. Welcome to day 27 of the Learn How to Study Abroad in 30 Days series. In today's video, we are going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, packing. So we're going to be talking about the best practices for packing for study abroad. This is very general. It, of course, is going to depend on where you are going, but we're going to talk about some of the basic things between what I have learned. I am definitely an overpacker no matter where I'm going, and definitely some of the things that my students that I work with have learned over the years. So we're going to dive in now. Okay, so for day 27 of our 30-day series, we are almost done with the series. I'm getting kind of sad. I feel like I've been with you every single day for 30 days, which is a lot. But we are talking about something exciting, at least exciting to me, because when I start packing, that is a signal that I'm going somewhere. And so even if I'm just going away for a couple days, I get really excited. And when you're packing for study abroad, it's even more exciting. So we're going to talk about study abroad packing. So just kind of a general rule of thumb, we're going to get into how much I would suggest that you pack overall. But with packing, again, you are not taking your entire life with you. Depending on where you're going, you're going to want to figure out beforehand, is everything furnished? Are you going to need to bring certain things with you? What does that look like? But you want to make sure that you're also packing enough as well. So I always like to say the general rule of thumb of whatever you feel like you currently use in your life that you would miss when you're away, you're going to want to take that. But for a lot of people, particularly us ladies out there, you know how it is. I am the same. You have so much stuff in the back of your closet that you never use. It still has the tags on it. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm going to use that when you go abroad. You're not going to use it. You haven't used it since you bought it 9 months ago. And that's just the truth. I'm just being honest. So make sure that you are being judicious with what you take with you. Also keeping in mind that once you get abroad, you're going to want to buy stuff and you're going to want to bring stuff back with you. It's just like when you go on vacation. So you want to make sure that you are making the best choices for whatever you take with you. So general packing guidelines, this is not all-inclusive. I know that people have different needs, but just kind of keeping in mind of, for most people, no matter where you're kind of going in the world, there are some restrictions with different airlines and what you can bring, or you have to pay these crazy fees, which is just ridiculous at this point that they still charge those. But for example, if for a semester-long program, so you're going for a spring semester or a summer semester or a fall semester, whatever that looks like for you, 1 to 3 suitcases is pretty reasonable. And again, I'm not kind of going in this particular course of what you're going to be bringing. I do have some packing lists that are available on my website that I can link to, but just kind of keeping in mind that 1 to 3 suitcases is going to be enough, because you're thinking, okay, there may be 2 that are completely full, and then there's 1 that's sort of semi-full with some stuff, and that gives me room as I sort of shift around to buy new things and bring things back with me. If you're going for a J-term, so J-term is a sort of that term, the semester term in between December and January. It's the January term. They're usually really short. Or Maymester, which is typically going to be 3 to 4 weeks abroad. 1 suitcase is going to be fine, and then 1 carry-on. That's going to get you through enough, usually for most people. Unless you're going someplace where you're going to different climates. There are certain programs where maybe you're going to a place that's going to be a little bit colder, and a place that's going to be still a little bit warmer during that May time, or even during the January season. Then you may want to bring an extra one just to make sure that you're separating the styles of clothes, because as we know, most times winter clothes are a lot heavier than our spring and summer clothes. For a full degree program, so if you're going to grad school abroad, or if you're going to college or university abroad, up to 4 suitcases, I said. So, of course, you know, this means that you are tapping into paying extra baggage fees, or if you have someone who's traveling with you, you can tag it onto them. Maybe if you have a chance to take 2 bags each, whatever that means. But up to 4 suitcases seems really reasonable. For me, what I did was when I was going abroad to do my graduate degree programs, I had my family ship me a lot of stuff. Now, that is, of course, very expensive to do, but it helped me to be able to bring my suitcases, but then also know that stuff was coming. And again, if you ship it so that it's like long term, if you're doing it expediently, of course it's going to be more expensive. But if you're sending it, whether it be to the US or to the UK or wherever, and you are fine with it arriving in 3 to 4 weeks, then it's not going to be as expensive. But at least that way you have it, you know that it's coming. And this is going to be great for people who are doing their degrees abroad, because again, there's a lot of things that within that time frame that you're going to need. Of course, keep in mind, you are likely going to come home in between breaks and things like that where you can bring more things with you. But if there's certain things that you're going to need to sort of get set up in your home, in your dorm room, and you need that because you're going to be there for a longer period of time, having things shipped to you can also be very useful. Last but not least, I did just want to point out the fact that you should definitely leave irreplaceable valuables at home. So you definitely don't want to be taking family heirlooms, or, you know, if it's just one credit card, that's a huge limit credit card that you have with you. You want to be able to find a way to leave those things at home. Not saying that anything is going to happen, but you want to just minimize the opportunity for anything to happen. And so I know a lot of students, with the exception of things like computers, which most people are going to take with them, or electronics, those are different. And a lot of times they have insurance on them. If it's something that doesn't have insurance or that you can't get insurance on, leave it at home, leave it behind with family or with people that you trust. Don't take that abroad with you. It's not worth it. Not to say that anything is going to happen. Again, you don't want to approach it as just thinking of doomsday, things are going to happen. But in the case that it does, again, it doesn't even have to be someone stealing something. It could be where there's damage done to, you know, based on whatever happened within your room or wherever you're staying. So just make sure that you leave your irreplaceable valuables at home, and you can see those when you return home. And so I hope that the video was helpful for you. I definitely want students to focus a bit more on having more agency over their lives and being much more self-reliant in any way that you can be, just to kind of get yourself ready for adulthood and for the future. So with that being said, I hope that you've got some useful tips on packing and that you are starting to think about ways to not be an overpacker, but to have everything that you're going to need for a great semester or longer away. I will see you tomorrow for day 28.